So we're starting on our back. And just allow your arms to come down by your side, let your eyes. Just soften into your home studio space. That's one of the silver linings of this time, I think, is that we've been able to cultivate space in our own home that can be this sanctuary. And it's kind of amazing. I remember when I was doing the teacher trainer said, the biggest gift you're giving yourself is your own practice. You can take it with you anywhere. You can do it anywhere once you have this knowledge. And that's kind of what I feel like we've all cultivated over this time. Reach your arms all the way over your head. So just stretch. Maybe do some circles with your ankles and maybe with your wrists as well. Just loosening everything up. And then we're going to draw the knees into your chest and just circle it around. And if you want to get a little more into the hips, whew, I'm like rolling all the way over to one side. Lift the hips a little more, and that's going to get you into your middle back. Keeping the hips or the buttocks low is going to be more in the pelvic area, sacrum. So customize what you feel like this afternoon. Learning recently about something that we all know. So we all know that we kind of tend to focus on what's not working in our lives, right? We put a lot of energy into the things that aren't working. So next time you come back to a center, plant the feet and then walk the feet one. You would normally put them in a bridge pose. Good. And then as you inhale, we're going to lift the hips like a bridge, but we're also going to lift the toes. So inhale, lift the hips, lift the toes, squeeze the buttocks. So we're just waking up the glutes a little bit. And then exhale, lower it all the way down. Plant the feet back down. Lift the hips and then squeeze the buttocks. And exhale, lower down. 4 more of those. So inhale, lifts you up, squeeze the buttocks. Exhale is going to lower you down. Inhale, we're going to squeeze the buttocks, lift the hips. And exhale, we're going to lower down. And we're working into these glute bridges. Heels a little bit forward. Inhale, squeeze the buttocks, lift the hips. Exhale, lower down. All right, we're going to move the feet one step even more forward. And do 5 more. Because you loved them so much, right? Squeeze the buttocks. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift, squeeze, press into the heels. Exhale, lower. Good, 3 more. Inhale. Inhale, so that squeezing of the buttocks is really critical. Exhale. And then inhale, squeeze the buttocks, lift one last time. And exhale. So from here, you're going to walk the feet right back underneath you and come into a normal bridge. So lift the hips. Now I'm going to ask you to let go of the buttocks. So we just spent a lot of time activating the glutes. Let that go so your lower spine can feel some activity now. So we're sending our focus back into the lower spine. And if we squeeze the butt, the multifidi of the lower back kind of takes a break because the glutes are so big and such powerful muscles that those little multifidi are like, oh, I'm good. The butt's got it. So let that go so you can really access those more micro muscles in the spine. Exhale, lower that whole thing down. Let's bring the knees into the chest. And we're going to smooth the knees all the way over to the right and come into a spinal twist. So as I was saying, we all tend, it's human, what I've learned is that it's human nature to focus on what's wrong, and be like, what could go wrong here? And it actually comes from the most primitive part of our brain, this evolutionary conditioning that we have, and it's called the negativity bias. I never knew what it was called. I knew that that was our nature to do that, but I didn't know it had a name. So it's kind of cool to learn that. Draw your knees back to center and float your knees over to the other side. So we'll come into that spinal twist on the other side. So what that does is basically it sets us up for protection. So anytime we're hurt, we hold on to that experience. And when good things happen, we kind of just roll through them because we're very focused on that protection element. And it comes from a evolutionary time from when we were cavemen and we really were concerned about our physical survival every second of every day. Draw your knees back to center. Your knees out to the side. So my feet are flexed, my knees are out, my hands are going to come behind the head. So we'll just lift the chest a little bit, let the elbows press out, and activate your middle abdominal area. So your rectus abdominis. And then exhale, lower that all the way down. You inhale, come on out. The right elbow is going to come to the right knee, and the left leg is going to come out to the left. Good. Inhale, draw the left knee towards the left elbow. Exhale, straighten the right leg out to the right. Inhale it back. Elbow, exhale, left leg out. Notice both my feet are flexed. Inhale, left knee to left elbow. Exhale, right leg out to the right. Good, couple more. Inhale, squeeze your right knee into your right elbow. Exhale, we're going to straighten the left leg to the left. Left knee. Exhale, we're going to straighten the right leg out to the right. Okay, both knees are going to come back in, how we started. Notice my elbows are at my knees. My hands are flexed like they're pressing away an imaginary ceiling. My feet are pressed. Belly draws in. Here we are. This is Bakasana. Bakasana. Let the navel come to the spine. Let the chest lift. Imagine you're pressing the ceiling away. Good. 2 more breaths here. Knees come into the chest. We're going to rock and roll all the way up. Your hands and knees. So we'll find just some warm up, a little more warm up in the spine, arching and rounding of the spine, letting the head go. I'm going to strip off a layer. It's getting warm down here in my basement. So the negativity bias, right? Our to focus on what's wrong, to assume something's wrong, to look into what could go wrong, what could hurt us, and to spend a lot more energy on that. So there's this analogy that I want us to think about in our practice today. So it's said that we are Velcro for a pain, and we're Teflon for the beautiful ones. So what if we switch that up a little bit? What if we could become Teflon for the painful experiences and Velcro for the happy, joyful ones? What if we could do that? Well, wouldn't it be nice if we could do that? Not that easy. That's the question. Well, we have this gift. We have this gift of mindfulness to become aware. And the best way to become aware is to pause. So we're going to practice that a little bit today on the mat, and maybe we can practice it off the mat as well. Come to a neutral spine. So you're going to flip the straighten the right leg and plant the foot, and then reach your right arm up to the sky. Good. If you feel like it, that arm can come over the ear. You can reach the fingers forward, press into the outer edge of your right foot. Look up, lengthen. Down, set the knee back down, we'll switch sides. So float the right foot out behind you like a little kickstand. Left leg grounds down, left arm reaches up to the sky. If you feel like it, you're floating that arm over the ear, softening the shoulder, pressing through the outer edge of that back foot as you look up to the sky. And three more breaths. And then set the hand down, set the knee down, arch the spine with your inhale. And we're gonna exhale round and find down. So pressing back into your downward dog, just check out what's going on. So this is our first time to practice, right? Do we focus on the really, oh, this doesn't feel so great. Oh, I'm tight here. Or can we just acknowledge that and then let it bounce off us? Okay, it's there. And then right now, like spread the fingers, press into the palms, relax your shoulders, release some of that tension. Snowstorm's over, let it go. And then bend your knees and let your hips come back towards your heels. So we're gonna come into a squat-like position. Hang out here for a breath or two. And then straighten the legs, find your way back to downward dog. And then we like that so much that we're gonna do it again. Let's have it Velcro to us. Bend the knees, let the chest come back to the thighs. Keep the belly strong, soften the shoulders. You got this. And then straighten the legs. Come on back, downward dog. We're gonna travel from the back of the mat to the front of the mat. So walk the feet forward towards the front of your mat. Let's bend the knees. Let's allow the chest to line the thighs. Clasp the hands behind the legs. Shake out the head. And breathe. Just breathe here, right? Rolling back and forth into the feet. Remembering that we get to pause and choose. That's what makes us different from those cavemen, is we get to choose what's gonna be Velcro and what's gonna be Teflon. Release the clasp of the legs and let's roll it up super slow. Take your time, savor, pause, find your way up to standing. Bring your hands to your heart, close your eyes, and identify two things off the mat. So this is your private intention for yourself. Something that has been Velcro that you'd like to be Teflon, and something that you notice was Teflon that you really want to hold on to that should be Velcro. So just identifying those two things and dedicating your practice to this practice of mindfulness, of pausing, that sacred pause, of savoring. And then open your eyes, bring your arms around and up. So inhale, sweep the arms around and up. Exhale, we're gonna forward fold. Inhale, hands to the shins or to the floor. Exhale, come to a high cobra. So stay here for your, high plank. Stay here for your plank. And as you exhale, we're gonna slowly lower to the mat in one line. So if that means you need your knees to help you, all good. If you feel like you've got a chaturanga for yourself now, go for it. We're gonna come all the way flat to the mat. Inhale, let's find a little baby cobra. Okay, so draw the gaze forward, shoulders, elbows squeeze in, heart is lifting. Exhale, lower all the way to the mat. Inhale, ground into the hands a little bit more. Let's find a higher cobra. So maybe it's halfway, maybe it's all the way. You decide. Either way, just move things around, savor it a little bit. right? We rush right through the stuff that's normal, that feels like it's working, that's just kind of status quo. We just move right through that until we hit an obstacle, right? Curl the toes, find your downward dog. What if we could just savor all the normal good stuff too? How would that change the way we see the world? How would that change our place in the world? 3 more breaths here. Good. Inhale, we're gonna come high on the toes. As you exhale, you're gonna bend the knees, bring the chest back to the thighs. Just hang out here for a second. And then straighten the legs and walk the feet towards the hands. Right? Inhale brings us to a flat back here. Exhale, we're gonna forward fold, maybe the knees bend a little bit. Inhale, arms around and up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Okay, so Namaskar A again, a little faster. Inhale, arms around and up. Doesn't mean we can't savor it though. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, back through plank, chaturanga. Inhale, high cobra. Exhale it back, downward dog. Lengthen here, 5 breaths. So in the stillness, in the pause, that's where we get to say, what am I going to hold on to here? What is going to be my Velcro? What's going to stick to me? All right, next inhale, high on the toes. Exhale, bend the knees. You're bringing that chest all the way back to the thighs. If you want to hop forward this time, go for it. Hop, step, float, whatever works for you. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, we're going to fold. Inhale brings us to Utkatasana. So sit into your chair, softening the shoulders down, pressing back into those heels, lifting the toes. And we're going to exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back here, lengthen. Exhale, moves us through plank, chaturanga. Bring yourself all the way through. Good. Inhale, high cobra. Yep. Exhale it back, downward dog. So we're about savoring, we're about pausing here today. Taking in the just ordinary good stuff. Like how many times do we do downward dog? But are we just going through the motions now? Are we cheating ourselves out of that every time and just going right to the bad stuff? The question. Right leg's gonna lift. Inhale, high up, 3-legged dog. Exhale, knees gonna round to the nose. Let's come forward. Float the right foot in between your hands, drop your back knee, flatten the foot. Inhale is gonna bring us right up to Asana. So soften the shoulders, lift the chest, look up. If you want to, interlace your hands behind your head and just rest your head in your hands. That's gonna aid a little bit more of a back bend here. And then we're gonna draw the hands to the heart and we're gonna twist. So left elbow outside right knee, draw your gaze up to the sky, find your twist. 5 breaths here. As you exhale, set the hands down and we're gonna float back into that side plank idea. So swing the left foot out, right foot down, left arm up to the sky. So you decide from here if you want to lift the leg this time, okay? Arm comes over the ear. And then if you want to add even a little more, you could connect the work into the obliques. So bend the elbow, bend the knee and squeeze them together and then straighten. Inhale, squeeze them together. Exhale, straighten. So keep the foot flexed. One more. Inhale. Exhale, and hands and knees to the mat. Good. Curl your toes under, press back to a downward dog. And we're gonna bend and come into that squat, right? So chest to the thighs, but this time we're gonna spring into a plank. So let this straightening spring you right forward into a plank. Got it? Good. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, high cobra. Exhale it back, downward dog. Left leg is gonna lift. So starting with three-legged dog. Bend the knee, round it towards the nose. Step the left foot forward, drop the right knee, flatten the foot. Inhale, arms all the way up. If you liked that interlace situation, go for that. Just to rest your head in your hands like a cradle. Real focus here is opening the chest and pressing into the left knee. What do we want to savor here? What do we want to pause and stop and appreciate and take in that's Velcros to us? Hands to the heart, we're gonna switch. Right elbow, or we're gonna twist rather. Right elbow outside left knee, look up to the sky, gaze up to the sky, breathe here. Okay, hands come down. We're gonna float the left leg up, swing the right leg back like a kickstand. Keep the left leg lifted, left arm up to the sky. Option here, if you want to do that, work in the obliques as we stay here, right? Straightening and bending, couple more like that, or you're just keeping the leg lifted and the left arm up. Totally up to you. Good. I think that's the last one. Set the hands and the knee down. Arch the spine, inhale. Exhale, round you back to downward dog. Let's find that squat position. So bend all the way back like you're gonna spring forward into plank, because you are. So spring forward to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, high cobra. Exhale it back, downward dog. So let's take 5 breaths here. If that means child's pose for you, then go for it, right? We get to savor, we get to focus on what is like super working right now in my practice, and then let go of whatever's not. That's what we're practicing. That's the real practice. Inhale, we're gonna come high on the toes. Exhale, bend the knees, that chest comes back to the thighs, or maybe you're just gonna walk or hop or however you wanna get to the top of your mat. Okay, so that's up to you. Inhale, we're gonna find that flat back. Exhale, we're gonna forward fold. Inhale brings us to Utkatasana, so sitting into that chair, gazing forward, softening the shoulders. Breathe here. And then as you exhale, forward fold again. Inhale, we're gonna find that flat back. Exhale, we're gonna flow through plank, chaturanga. Skip whatever you need to, savor whatever you can. Right leg's gonna lift nice and high, knees gonna bend towards the nose, we're shifting forward. Step the foot in between your hands, left knee stays lifted. As you inhale, press into the fingertips, look forward. Exhale, curl and round. Inhale, gaze forward, lift the chest. Exhale, round. As you do, hips are steady, and this back leg, the left inner thigh is rolling in. The left hip is rolling in. Inhale. So we're keeping this rolling in towards the midline. Exhale. The next time you inhale, arch the spine. Arms are going to float by the ears. And we're coming all the way up. High crescent warrior. Reaching those arms nice and high. Lifting the chest forward and still rolling that left hip towards your midline. Engage your glutes, your buttocks. Your left buttocks is squeezing. We'll float it open to warrior two. Good. Savor here, right? We spend a lot of time in warrior two, but we don't really pay attention to that. Because typically it's kind of a transition pose to go somewhere else. It's like that classic, like everyday good thing that we don't pay attention to. So just sit in it. Turn your palms up. Reverse your warrior. This is one we typically like because we can surrender a little bit more. And then bring your right forearm to your right thigh, left arm reaches up to the sky. You decide from here if you want that arm over the ear. If you feel like a little more today, you can take the right arm forward like you're holding an imaginary beach ball over your head. That's gonna work that rectus abdominis situation a little bit more, up to you. Keep that right knee bent. So maybe your thighs parallel to the mat. Maybe it's not, it's okay. And then left hand comes inside right foot, back heel lifts inside arm, so your right arm's up to the sky. Breathing here. So options for your side plank. We've done a few of them already. You could drop the left knee, swing the leg out like a kickstand, work here, work here, work here, or come into your full side plank where your legs are stacked, arm reaches up and over the ear, lift through the lower side waist, gaze up to the sky, creating this crescent shape. Nice job, beautiful, Tony. Good, Yelena, nice, nice, Emily. And we're gonna move through plank, chaturanga. Skip it if you don't want it today, right? We get to choose. We get to choose. Good, Sue. So your arms look really wide. Just be aware of that in your downward dog. They look really far out. You maybe want them a little, yep. That's right. See how you feel there. Okay, second side. Left leg is gonna lift as you inhale. Bend the knee, draw to the nose, round forward, step the foot in between the hands. So we're stabilizing the hips and we're wrapping the right hip and inner thigh towards your midline, and then in and out, arching and rounding like cat-cow. So inhale and exhale. Inhale, arch the spine, look forward. Exhale, we're gonna round. And again, inhale, arch the spine. Exhale, we're gonna round. And again, inhale. And exhale. Okay, so when we come back to the next inhale, arms float by the ears and we're gonna lift nice and high, bending into that front knee. Good, softening the shoulders, navel draws up. Right buttocks is squeezing. Good, so we need those guys to be working. As you exhale, we're opening out to warrior two. A full 5 thrusts in warrior two. We don't often spend that much time here. We kind of whiz through it. It's like we got warrior two, moving on to the next thing. What if we didn't do that? What if we let every just nice, normal, good thing stick to us like Velcro? And the crappy stuff just bounce off us like Teflon. How much happier would we be? I've been trying this on my own here home with my family. It's working out pretty well. Come into reverse warrior. But what made me feel kind of good or just relieved about this whole thing that I just learned, this negativity bias, that it is an evolutionary piece of our brain. It resides in the most primitive part of our brain, but it's there in our evolution. Left forearm to left thigh, right arm up. So we don't have to blame ourselves for that. Maybe the arm floats over the ear. Maybe that bottom arm comes forward too. Keeping that left knee nice and bent, pressing into the outer edge of the back foot. We don't have to blame ourselves for that because it's bred in us in our evolution. But what's cool is that we are more evolved. So we can actually adjust it with mindfulness. Right hand comes down inside the left foot, lift off your back heel, we'll find a twist. And then we're gonna take it further into our side plank. So you decide knee can come down, swing out, or you can stack for the full side plank, lifting through the lower side waist. So we're squeezing through those obliques right now, coming into that side plank. Nice, Renee. Nice job. And we'll find our way through a Vinyasa Downward Dog, or meet us right in Downward Dog. Up to you. What feels good, what works. Nice, Jennifer, beautiful. Five breaths here. What do you want to savor? What do you want to let go of? What do you want to notice but let it bounce off you like Teflon? What do you want to stick with you? Good. All right, we're going to bend the knees, bring the chest back to the side. So we're coming back into that squat. And we're going to spring forward to plank. But we're going to do that a few times. So come back, bend the knees, spring it back, and then come forward. Good, one more. One more forward, and then lower all the way to the mat. Good, coming onto the tops of the feet, the hands are underneath the shoulders, the chin tucks in. We're gonna start with our little baby Cobra. Roll the shoulders back and down. Soften the buttocks, okay? So we're back focusing on these little guys, these multifidi. And then lift the legs without squeezing your glutes too much. I know it's hard to do, but just be mindful of it. So when we're cultivating these tiny little adjustments in our practice, it's asking us to train ourselves to notice those little things, right? And it's practice. And we get better at it and better at it and better at it. And maybe the hands pop off, and perhaps they might even want to float out to the side like airplane wings to let the shoulders come back a little further. One more breath here. Exhale, lower down. Let's bring the forehead to the mat. And let the arms come forward. So this time we'll start with the legs. So as you inhale, we're going to lift the legs, but then soften the buttocks. And then we're going to lift the arms and the chest, gazing forward, lift the chin last. Arms will come out like airplane wings, and then perhaps we're going to interlace those hands behind the back, roll those shoulder blades towards each other, but drop the shoulders away from the ears, soften the buttocks, lift and lift through the heart. 2 more breaths here. Exhale, lower all of that down. Good. Let's press up to hands and knees. Let's round through the spine, come all the way through our cat into child's pose. From here, we'll find our downward dog. So curl the toes under, downward dog. Good. Right leg is going to lift now as you inhale. Exhale, we're going to draw the knee forward towards the nose, step the foot in between the hands. Inhale, we're coming up into our high crescent warrior. Softening the shoulders. We're going to hinge forward and then move our way into warrior 3. So I'm still unsteady. I have an injury on my right leg, so forgive me. I'm a little wiggly today. So left leg is going to lift. We're coming into our warrior 3, rolling the left inner thigh towards the center. So we've been practicing that a little bit. And we'll bring ourselves all the way into a standing split. Good. Flexing the foot. Let's move into Ardha Chandrasana. So right hand stays down, left hand comes to the hip, arm reaches up to the sky. So you can stay here. If you want to play a little bit, you could try that elbow to knee in your half moon. Ooh, it's a little bit different. So what do you want to savor? What do you want to let go of? One more. And then find your way to standing split. So just so you know, we're going to meet in a lunge, but if anybody wants to play with handstand switches, now would be the time. So you're springing into your standing leg, and as one comes up, the other one comes down, right? So spring and lift, and then back. So we've been preparing the legs for this spring action all class. So you might be surprised at the power you have right now. We're gonna meet back in our standing split with the right leg down, left leg up. And then bend the knee and come into your twist. So we've been here before. Left hand down, right arm up to the sky. So, options. We're gonna be doing side plank again. All the ones you've seen already. Perhaps you wanna try this, right? Another option is tree here, lifting and staying if you don't wanna do the elbow to knee. Either way, it's that balancing on the left arm, the strengthening of the shoulder, the working of the core. That's what we're going for here. And we're gonna meet in a downward dog. So if you wanna skip a vinyasa, feel free. I'm skipping one. So I'm savoring teaching without a mask. That's nice for now. But I'm doing a lot more when I'm on Zoom than when I'm in class because I have beautiful students to demo for me when I'm in class. So I'm out of breath. All right, second side, left leg's gonna lift, inhale. As you exhale, bend the knee, draw it to the nose, round forward, step the foot in between the hands. Inhale, we're coming up, high lunge. So reach those arms up. And then we're gonna hinge forward, press into that back heel, nice and long, belly draws in, and we're gonna float through a warrior three, right? So as we do, we're deploying some of those tactics. We're rolling the right inner thigh towards the midline. We're keeping the belly nice and strong. And then we're gonna slowly transition our way down to standing split. From here, it's going into our half moon. So left hand stays down or it goes onto a block, right hand to the hip as you start to open. Then maybe you're gonna find arm up, flex that right one, flex the right foot. And then if you wanna play, elbow towards knee and back up. All right, it's just playing with your focus here. Working a little bit more into that core and hip flexors. Good. Okay, we're gonna meet back in standing split. So the good news is if you've already done your handstand switches and you don't wanna do them again, you've already done both sides. So you can stay here in your standing split, or if you wanna play with hops again, switches. So one comes up, the other comes down. Using that spring action in the legs, the power of the glutes and the hamstrings. Good, John. Nice. Good, Tal. Good job. All right, we're gonna step it back into that lunge. So left foot's forward, right leg's back, hand is down, left arm's up. Remember, your job on the mat is to take the joy and have it stick to you like Velcro. So if this is where your joy is, you stay here. If you feel like coming into a version of side plank, all good, but decide which one's gonna bring you joy. It's not about judgment or negative. So if you wanna try it, right, go for it. If you wanna work into your tree here, all good. Just, you decide what is the Velcro. What do I want to savor? What do I want to pause in? And we will meet in downward dog. So again, if you want your vinyasa, all good. If not so much, then not so much. We'll meet in downward dog. Good, Tony. All right. Right leg's gonna lift in our downward dog. Knee is gonna draw towards the nose. We're gonna step it forward once again into our lunge. Inner thighs roll towards each other. Abdominals are strong. Inhale, float the arms all the way up. This time, we're gonna bring the left leg forward and wrap it around the right for Garuda Eagle. So spring into the right leg, wrap the left leg around. Rolling again through those inner thighs, okay? We need those guys. They're really important. Arms out like airplane wings. We're gonna wrap the left arm underneath the right. Sit a little deeper into our eagle. If you wanna hinge forward like I am, go ahead. If not, stay with a lifted chest. I'm just gonna turn to face you guys for what's next. Sitting a little deeper. And then we're gonna take the left foot and tap it to the floor. We'll unwrap the arms and come down into our seated twist. Let's twist. So left arm's gonna come behind, right arm's gonna reach up, hand can come to the knee, elbow can come to the knee, you decide. Inhale, lift and lengthen, and then exhale, we're gonna twist. Good. Inhale, nice and tall. Exhale, we're gonna twist. Okay, one more. Inhale. And one more, exhale. Come back around. Let's line the left arm inside the, nope, right, sorry. Left arm inside right. I got it right, I think. No, it's left arm inside left. Whew, sorry guys. I'm all twisted around today. Little bit of yoga teacher dyslexia. Okay, hands back. As we come into a forward fold, your ankles are gonna stay crossed. So your left ankle is gonna be crossed on top of your right, and we're gonna fold here. So this is getting a pretty deep stretch into the IT band, a little bit of the hamstrings. Okay, we're gonna keep the cross of the ankles and we're gonna bend the knees and come back into a squat. So notice my ankles are crossed. So fun thing, if you're home and you're a little worried, because what we're gonna do is play with Bakasana with our ankles crossed. So hands come down, knees come up, hinge forward, and here we are. Right, but if you're a little nervous about it, maybe take a pillow that you got lying around and put it right underneath your head. And then give it a try. And savor what happens. Just notice, holy moly, it's fear. It's fear maybe holding me back from Bakasana. So give it a try. How's it going? Good, Sue. Crossing at the ankles. All right. So really lower down, keep your ankles crossed. You're gonna roll over your knees and we're coming back to downward dog. If you feel like vinyasa, go for it. If not, all good, no worries. So we'll meet in downward dog. Okay, second side, left leg's gonna lift, inhale. Exhale, draw your knee towards your nose, step the foot in between the hands. Roll your inner thighs in, draw the belly in, lift up, high lunge. Softening into the left knee as we swing the right leg around. We're coming into our eagle. Right arm underneath left. Keep the chest lifted, bending into the knees, gazing forward, drawing the navel to the spine. Breathe here. Maybe we're hinging forward, up to you. Can you savor here? Or are you just trying to get through it? Unwrap the arms, tap the right toes to the floor. We're coming into our seated twist. Left hand or elbow comes outside right knee. Lift as you inhale, twist as you exhale. And again, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, we're gonna twist. Inhale, nice and tall. Exhale, twist. Gaze over that back shoulder. Swing it back forward. Let's see if I can say it right this time. Right arm inside right leg. Left arm behind. Look over your left shoulder. Yes. Nailed it. Breathe. Because our memory, our thought process can become a habit so quickly. I cannot tell you how many times I make a mistake on one side and then I make it on the other side because my brain has already made it a habit. It's so easy for us to create habits of thought. So coming back into your cross-legged forward fold, this time right ankle's on top of left, head hangs. But that should also give us encouragement because that means we can change it too. It's very malleable and changeable and flexible. So with this power that we have, with this power of the pause, the mindfulness, we know the negativity bias exists, so how do we change it? Bend the knees, keep the ankles crossed. We're coming into that squat setup. We're ready for Bakasana again. Opposite ankles crossed this time. If that pillow helps you, just swing it back over, stick it underneath where your head's gonna go and hinge forward. So the the knees are coming up as high towards the armpits as possible. Good, Yelena, nice. Beautiful. Keeping the ankles crossed if you can. Yes, sometimes it just helps with leverage to have them crossed like that. It's a little more stability. Nice, Jen. Beautiful. Good, Tony. All right. You're gonna come out of that, keep the ankles crossed, roll over your knees. We're coming back to downward dog. So if you feel like another vinyasa, good for you. If not so much, good for you. What do we need to savor? Okay, so once you're in downward dog, everybody just sit on your heels for a moment. So bend the knees and just sit on your heels. I'm just gonna show you kind of what we've built towards. So we focused a lot on abdominals for stability. We focused on a lot of side planks and arm stuff to strengthen the shoulders. And then we did those squat things, right? Back and forth, because we were working on the glutes and the hamstrings. We need those guys. And this is why. This is what we're gonna play with today. But know that we're ending up in pigeon. So if you wanna go right to pigeon, you do that. You do what you wanna do to savor. But what we're prepared for is donkey kicks, all right? So I'm just gonna demo it really fast and then I'll walk you through it. We'll do it together. So you're gonna come back. Remember we shifted forward to plank? So we're doing that same shift forward to plank, but this time we're gonna try to lift the legs as we go. So squat, right? You don't have to come all the way up into handstand. It's just hopping back and forth, right? So you've got the squat, you've got the hinging forward to plank, and you've got the arm strength and core. Okay, downward dog, everybody. Give it a shot. But remember, if you're not digging this, whenever you're ready, we're gonna come to pigeon on the right leg. So transition your way there whenever you've had enough donkey kicking. It's a lot of cardio too to do the donkey kicks. So good, nice job guys. Good, Tal, beautiful. See, we put all the pieces together. We can savor whatever it is that's available. Even if we don't make it totally vertical today, it doesn't matter. All those pieces are powerful. Good. Nice, Emily. Yeah. All right. So we're going to make our way slowly towards pigeon when you're ready. Folding over the right leg. Sliding the left leg back, hinging forward, and breathe. So how many times do we do pigeon? I think that if you take my class, probably almost every class I teach has pigeon in it, almost. So my point being, we come into pigeon all the time. So I'll tell you a story that happened to me yesterday. Yesterday, I took a class with Lisa Zaloga, who's a wonderful teacher based in Manhattan, her virtual class. And I haven't gotten the chance to take that many classes lately because my kids at home and I'm teaching and I'm doing my own practice and, you know, life gets in the way. So we spent a lot of time in pigeon yesterday. We did it multiple times, different forms of it. And every time I entered pigeon on my left side, I started to cry. And that hasn't happened in a while. And it was very strange because not on my right, just on my left. And I really tried to savor it and sit in it and say, I do this pose all the time. Why today is this happening? What do I need to do? And I realized that I had been holding on to, with Velcro, some very difficult emotions that were hanging out right there. And I didn't even know it. So I let them go. Teflon, gone. And I feel so much lighter. So sometimes we don't even know what is sticking to us. We don't even know what that Velcro is unless we really go deep. So go deep. I'm going to spend 3 more breaths here before we switch sides. So just go deep. Savor, pause. And we'll make our way back to downward dog. Let's shake out that right leg. And we'll switch. So left leg is going to lift, bend the knee, bring the knee to the behind the left wrist, ankle behind the right wrist. And go ahead and fold forward. Just softening here. A long, deep, savoring pigeon. We do it all the time, so maybe it feels different today. Three more breaths. And then slowly make your way back to downward dog. We're gonna bend the knees, bring the hips back and lifted. Spring forward to your plank one last time, but nice and slowly. So roll forward, articulating the spine. And then we're gonna lower all the way to the mat one last time. And we'll roll right onto our back. Good. Okay, so we're gonna bend the right knee and just hug it into you so we can release that hip flexor a little bit. And then we're gonna float the right knee all the way across into a final spinal twist. Arms can come in a T, gaze over your right shoulder. If you feel like stretching a little more through the hamstrings, you can straighten the leg, so up to you. Just releasing it out. And then draw the right knee back, lower it down, left knee in, hug it in. Just release out those hip flexors, your psoas. And then right hand to left knee or to the outside of the foot as you come across. Gaze over the left shoulder. Breathe here. And then come on back, both knees into your chest. And we're gonna slowly lower it down to Savasana. Your final few moments, right? Draw yourself back to your intention. What do you want to let go, like Teflon, bounce off of you? And what do you want to stick to you? What wonderful everyday joy have you been letting flow by without grabbing it, without letting it stick to you like Velcro? That's the power we have. And slowly begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And reach your arms up and over your head and just stretch from your fingers to your toes. And then draw your knees into your chest and make your way onto your right side. And then find your way up to a comfortable seated position. Hands to your heart. Close your eyes. I thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today, for showing up for yourselves. Wish you a wonderful day and holiday season. Namaste.